Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video. So this is going to be part 4 of my Birth of Peace series, and I'm going to talk about fully realized characters. Now, I've always loved systems that required players to give their characters beliefs, background, and or personality within the character creation process. White Wolf games were very good at that. In White Wolf's Exalted RPG, players had to choose their character's virtues. The virtues, compassion, valor, temperance, and conviction, allowed characters to receive bonuses on actions when the action was in accordance with their virtues. When characters acted contrary to their virtues, they suffered penalties. Monty Cook's Numenera employed similar mechanics. During character creation, a character's reason for joining the first adventure was determined. You also had to establish a relationship between your character and another PC. For players who envision their characters as empty avatars of their will, these mechanics won't impress and will be mostly ignored unless they have rules implications like Exalted. For systems that mostly add narrative flavor to a character through these mechanics, that player will be even more disengaged. All, however, is not lost because even for those players, background, beliefs, and goals can still be useful. The mechanics can still be useful because they supply the GM with knowledge of the types of experiences in which his players would be interested. If the player took a flaw called battle rage during character creation, the GM can probably safely assume that the player likes combat. So those mechanics at least serve that purpose. I wanted to use something like that in Peace the RPG. I decided to add character drive and connection to the game. A character's drive is what is most important to the character, the goal or belief that motivates her more than anything else. Connection requires the players to choose another player's character in the party with which to declare a strong bond and the reason for the bond. These decisions make some aspects of the GM's job much easier because no player is going to choose to have her character driven by a belief that the character has no interest in portraying. If a player chooses the Seek Thrills drive, for example, it's a safe bet by the GM that the GM can throw exciting, death-defying situations at the player to keep the player interested. Connection helps the players buy into group cohesion and immerse themselves in the world. Neither of these mechanics are going to pull an introverted player out of their shell or make a power gamer reconsider punching every problem, but it will at least help the GM understand who he has at the table. It also helps players understand why their character would care about what's going on in the game. That can be helpful for new players. To be honest, even as a veteran player myself, I find sometimes it to be a little unclear what my character's response to certain circumstances in the game would be. Drive and connection have helped me sort those things out. How should my character feel about this event? Well, because of his drive, he probably feels X, Y, and Z. I have a bond with this PC, so when this happens, my character probably feels X, Y, and Z. So the mechanics are also useful for helping the GM motivate PCs into action. So those are all of the ways that those mechanics can be helpful. And I really like the idea of adding those to the game. So I'm going to try to put a link in the bottom for a section of the basic edition and core rule book of the game that talks about drive and connection. So you can take a look at that. And you're probably, hopefully, wondering what the basic rules are. Well, I have one more article next week on the creation of the game. And after that, hopefully, I'm going to be able very soon after that to put up basic rules online for free. The basic rules include about 25 to 33% of the content from the core rule book. You'll have access to half of the 6 different character races in the game, half of the builds or so for some of the vocations, and you'll have the first 3 levels of the game, including a third of the bestiary from the core rule book. So after many, many years, I am really excited to share my creation with my fellow hobbyists. And I hope to, at some point, build community around the game and do a Kickstarter to completely illustrate the core rule book to complete my full vision of the game. And if you have been following things thus far, I really, really thank you. And thanks for checking out this video. Talk to you later.